It's being described that the headline read, "Shocked by Slumdog's poverty porn." And Suhail, it went on to say, Danny Boyle's film is sweeping up awards, but it's wrong to revel in the misery of India's children.
You know, I would not give much credence to the Times London because David Miliband also loves a slum. I mean, he spent a night in some cowshed accompanied by the so-called future Prime Minister of this country, Rahul Gandhi. So everybody loves a slum like everybody loves a famine. I think the issue is, does Indian cinema or does cinema in India create stereotypes which the West is more familiar with?
Yes.
And because of familiarity, they love that stereotype and then go on to recognize it? I think there is a point that Mr. Bachchan makes. There was a debate when Satyajit Ray was alive about the depiction of poverty and the depiction of India in one particular stereotypical way. You can't be in your right mind to expect Chandni Chowk to China to win an award. You've got to have something which is not just offbeat, but which is done in a manner which helps project the same imagery that resides in the minds of an international audience as Slumdog Millionaire has done. The fact is that we are a country full of slums. We are a country which also has poverty as it does have riches. You had the case of a monsoon wedding which depicted the obscenity of an Indian wedding. So I would imagine that Mr. Bachchan's comments are to be taken in the right context. It is true, and he's right. Commercial cinema, what we define as commercial, you've got a film critic. You know what they say about critics. They criticize everything. It's much like Alice in Wonderland, where lessons lesson from lesson to lesson. Now, film critics love to define films in two categories, art and non-art. I think there are good films and there are bad films. If Slumdog Millionaire is a good film, and it happens to depict poverty as you and I understand it, through the prism of a slum, and if it is not denigrating brand India, damn good. But my worry is elsewhere. We are damn good at owning things that we don't often completely do. I mean, I know Loveleen is the co-director, and I know that, from hair to makeup to members of the cast are all there. The fact is that it is a British film in the sense you've got a British director. The protagonist is a British actor. The marketing has been done at a different level. I think we need to respect the film for what it is.
Now, Loveleen's
if it does stereotype India in a particular way, we've got to use the same vehicle of execution and of precise cinema to change that stereotype as and when we go along. But that stereotype won't be changed by a couple of people dancing around trees pretending to be Chinese when all they know is Szechuan chicken.
No, but Loveleen's hearing you out extremely patiently there. I'm sure she's waiting to respond. But I'll come to you, Loveleen. But before that, is this about the shock value? It's also said, there is a movie, small girls are all prostitutes, small boys are all beggars. Then, acid is, eyes are burnt out with acid. Eventually, filmmakers like what is completely awful and horrific, and that lends itself to brilliant cinema.
To be fair, and just as where you started out from, let's not berate success. It is a good film.
No, not at all.
Yeah?
Not at all.
And only good films will be discussed to a point of this manner.
Absolutely.
And that is releasing on a Friday, given it's going to release this coming Friday. I don't think we need to give too much of the movie away. But then given that, it's called Slumdog Millionaire, right? So Slumdog meaning somebody who's from the slum, a slum boy. Now, when the slum boy starts to have a British accent, I kind of question whether half the movie is right. Then the second half is millionaire. And you have a boy who is the slum boy, as it were, who is in a show called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, or the Hindi version of it, the Crorepati show. And because he is a chaiwala, everyone is laughing because, he belongs to a lower class. Now, yes, it reveals a certain class divide, but that's not the truth either. So it's sort of truth that is packaged to the West, and fair enough, it's made by a British director, and it would be that way.
Right. So, lovely. Now you can respond to all of this. That this is mutilated reality, and it works for a Western audience because they want to feel good about themselves, and they say in a year of recession, the Americans feel good about themselves by watching all that's wrong in Mumbai.
Well, we started, first of all, let's go backwards. As far as recession is concerned, we started the movie in they started conceptualizing it in 2006. We shot it in 2007, much before recession came on. As far as the reality being mutilated or being portrayed in a way that suits the West is concerned, I don't agree with that. I think that it's reality, like I've been saying on the show before. It's truthful reality to my eyes. And everyone has a point of view, and I completely respect Mayank's point of view and your point of view and Suhail's point of view, and I'm happy to know that there are all these points of view on it. But then at the same time, it's a story, it's a subject. When you come out with a subject and it's a novel, it was there before the script came out. The novel talks about the slums. The novel talks about the game show. The novel talks about this kind of smarmy game show host and the fact that he kind of tries to turn tables on this contestant. I think that these are, it's liberty that you take in a story. I mean, truth does not mean that, and which is, the question that I've been answering about Amitabh Bachchan and about Shah Rukh Khan and the fact that they are not the TV show hosts, because this is a particular kind of TV show host. And I don't think it's packaged, as this kind of smarmy host because it's being shown to the West. It's a dramatic liberty you take in order to make a story come alive, in order to up the ante, in order to create obstacles for a character. We all do that when we write. I mean, that's the whole idea, right? Is to dramatize and to create a story that, comes alive on screen.
So